Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Murdo Todd. I'm delighted to be joined by Denis Frimpong, who's back in action, Octagon 52, which will take place January 27th in Newcastle. How's things going, my friend? How's the training been?
Fucking cold, mate. I don't know what it's like in Czech Republic at the moment, like, but it's fucking cold here anyway. That's all I know. There's lot of cold toes, long warm-ups, and a lot of trying to make sure you don't get injured the week before a fight.
We last saw you back in action in November. You're back relatively quickly. Why was it so important for you to bounce back?
I've always been an active guy, you know. I made my amateur debut in 2021, August 2021. So like just over maybe 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. And in that time, I've had 8 amateur fights, and this will be my sixth fight now under pro rules. So what? That's like 14 fights in 2 years. So I just like to be active. I don't like sitting out for too long. I'm not a spring chicken. Do you know what I mean? I just turned 29, so I want to just get the fights in, you know what I mean? Just get the experience. I'm sort of learning on the job, and I think the best way to learn is you can do all the training you want, but the most you grow is from just getting in the cage and doing it and becoming more comfortable in there. So yeah.
You've had to train over the Christmas period. How's that been for you? You managed to behave yourself?
Yeah, completely. I am as disciplined as it gets in fight camp. Even out of fight camp, I'm pretty disciplined, but I'll allow myself a few little escapades, as it were, or some food, when I'm out of camp. But in camp, I'm ultra disciplined. I don't miss sessions. Obviously, I had a couple of days off on Christmas and like Boxing Day, Stephen's Day, but I made up for them then during the rest of the week. I didn't take the that Sunday off, whatever. I trained that Sunday. So yeah, I've had to train over the Christmas period. I've had to diet over the Christmas period, and I'm just gonna take all that frustration out on Yan Saraki, because that Christmas week is a big week for me every year. It's like my birthday is 2 days after Christmas, so like I said, I miss Christmas, my birthday, and New Year's. So that's gonna be 3 holidays worth of beating that he has to get now.
You got anything nice planned for after then to make up for it?
Gonna get a fat burger from Fat Hippo in Newcastle. Shout out Fat Hippo. Sort me out with a little burger, will you? And yeah, we're gonna go check out what Newcastle has to offer in terms of escapades, and maybe try and find a rave somewhere, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. But first things first, I'm gonna make this weight, and I'm gonna knock Jan Siroky unconscious.
Sounds good. I want to take it back to November. Obviously, not the outcome that you would have wanted, but so early on in your career, you got the experience to be on a big card, fighting a lot of in front of a lot of people. When you look back on it, what do you make of the whole experience?
Like from the challenge, or just from the
Just the whole
final?
night, like the fight obviously didn't go your way, but I imagine
Yeah,
it'll be a memorable experience. Is it a positive thing that you look back on, or is
yeah,
it kind of
yeah,
frustrating?
yeah. Obviously, I would have liked to have won, mate. Yeah, that would have been a lot better for me financially, for my record, for everything else. But end of the day, mate, I had a good. Well, it wasn't even. I would even really call it a good fight, because he didn't really try and fight me, did he? He just shot off the bat. Just did not want anything to do with having a real fight with me. It is MMA and all that. People can say what they want, but like, if it's MMA, then fucking mix the martial arts up. Don't just wrestle. Do you know what I mean? Like have a bit of a stand-up fight at least to shoot. Um, but yeah, I didn't even feel like I had a fight on the night. You know what I mean? That was the most disappointing bit. And I was ready to have a tear up. Um, yeah, obviously, other than that, the experience itself was sick. The walkout was sick, and walking out in front of that crowd was sick. My family being in the crowd, my mates being in the crowd, getting to see me on a show that level of production. A lot of fans coming up to me asking me for photos and stuff like that. It was nice. You know what I mean? It was nice. But yeah, that was just the first step of many. It's only up from here. That was just the first foot in the door kind of step, and now my foot's in the door. I'm kicking the door down. I'm going upstairs. I'm going through the presses. I'm going through the wardrobes. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm taking what's mine. The gaff's mine now.
Love it. I love it. So Octagon, they were obviously making a lot of moves. They did put on the Octagon Challenge. They're branching out into the UK. What's your experience been like with them, and what do you make of the things that they're doing?
Yeah, I think Pavel and Andre, as the owners are very they're ambitious people. They're visionaries. They really are pushing the boundaries of what's being done in European MMA. Because you see other shows that are doing shows around Europe. Cage Warriors do the little Italian shows and stuff like that. But it's nothing to the scale. You know what I mean? Like to book your first show in the UK or Ireland in the AO Arena. It's the biggest arena in the UK. Ambitious, you know what I mean? Like it might not have packed out, but it's still ambitious. And I think, everything's a learning experience, and I think these guys will learn from those things and bring those bits of knowledge forward. But I would love to see in the next year it get to the stage where the shows are the same as they are in the continent. Because trust me, in the continent, like even Bratislava is a small city to be honest. And mate, like 18,000 seater stadium packed out. You go, we got there for the second fight. It was already packed. Like everyone's there from the start. They've paid for a ticket, so they're coming for the whole event. They're not just coming for like the main event. They're coming for like, 3 or 4 fights or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think they're really going to change the game in European MMA, and they're on the way to becoming one of the top promotions in the world, and I plan to stay on that journey with them.
Yeah, I think if you combine the UK and Ireland MMA and mainland Europe, I think it's an interesting thought, and I think it can be something very very special. But moving on, Jan
Yeah, for sure.
Siroky, your next opponent. Talk to me a little bit about him. Very experienced, been around in Octagon for a while now. Got a few good wins on his record too.
Yeah, he's got a few good wins on his record. He is experienced. This will be his 30th fight. He's had 20 pro fights before I ever made my amateur debut. Um, so yeah, what else can I say about him, mate? He's a stocky little midget. I think I'm just gonna outclass him, to be honest. I don't think he has anything for me. And that's not me being cocky. Like I think anyone that's seen my fights, anyone seen my fight, any fights I've had with short guys, mate, like it's not good for them. Like it's not good for them. I'm very tall for the weight. He's very short for the weight. He's experienced in that, but within those experiences, he's had a few bad experiences. 16 men have defeated him, so I'm just gonna make myself number 17. And yeah, once I've defeated him, in emphatic fashion, like no one else with under 30 fights can refuse to fight me anymore because of my record. As I keep saying, records are for DJs. I don't spin records. I spin people's chins. So
Yeah, he's more experienced, but look, shorter reach and definitely showed some holes in his grappling last time out. But what does a win do for
again,
you here?
against the featherweight on a week's notice, mind you.
Yeah,
Um, as for what a win does for me here, we'll see. But as I said, once I smoke this guy, like I, I, I don't see why anyone outside the top 10 should refuse to fight me. Like at the end of the day, I'll have just beaten a guy who's just ranked number 8, one of the most experienced guys in the Octagon lightweight rankings, in the Octagon lightweight roster, and yeah, fair play to him for taking the fight as well, because he could have just run like all the rest of them have run, but he took the fight. So once I beat him, expect a few big call outs and expect a few big moves this year. Um, I might have lost against George, but I believe that, yeah, Octagon will wish that I had a one by the end of this year. Because let's just be honest, I'm more interesting to watch. I have a more fun style to watch in the cage. I'm a more interesting character. You know what I mean? I have more to me than just playing with Lego and sniffing people's crotch.
Yeah. So obviously a win against Siroky, and then maybe another couple of wins. You know, Siroky wasn't ranked too long ago. You know, a few good wins here. That really puts you in the top of the rankings. Are you ready to kind of be thrown straight in the deep end with some of these big boys?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of guys in that top 10 ranking that I would absolutely destroy. Don't get me wrong, there's guys in there that are good as well, there's a few guys that I rate really highly in there, but I would say I'm not quite ready for right now, maybe not even this year. But I say I'm still a baby in the game. I'm still making newbie gains. And I fought guys more experienced than me, you know what I mean? Like when I fought Hassan, I was technically what, 1-1. Um he was 4-1, and I knocked him unconscious in the second round. Um, Yan Saraki, 30th fight, I knocked him unconscious. Then what are people going to say? You know what I mean? Um, you know, I might only be two and a bit years in the MMA game, but I'm 7, 8 years into my martial arts journey. You know, I've had an extensive jiu-jitsu background. I competed a lot in jiu-jitsu, so I don't see why not. Why shouldn't I be thrown in the deep end if I want to be thrown in the deep end? You know, a lot of people don't want to be in the deep end. They want to take it slow, fight some bums, fight some 0-1, 0-40 guys, and then slowly make their way. I just want to test myself. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I'm 29. If I'm not good enough to fight the best of the best right now, then when am I gonna be? You know what I mean? Like I want to just test myself and see where I'm at.
Yeah. So you're obviously training out of Manchester just now. Your gym's full of young talent. Talk to me a bit little about the atmosphere just now. Obviously, guys preparing for some big fights and just yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys preparing for big fights here. You know, PFL. Um, Obviously we had Lerone preparing for a fight, but he unfortunately got injured. I think the knees just got broken, so he's no longer fighting Dan Ige. But yeah, we've got Jordan Barton. He's preparing for a title fight on FNC in Ljubljana in Slovenia, actually my mother's home country. So yeah, a lot of guys preparing for fights and getting ready, and a good vibe in the gym. Everyone's hungry in the gym this year. This is going to be takeover year, I think. Like a lot of guys are going to start breaking through. A lot of the amateurs coming up now that people might not know much about are going to be making their pro debuts this year, I imagine. A lot of the earlier amateurs are going to start fighting for amateur belts. And it's just going to be another year of dominance from Manchester top team. We're going to show our level.
So everything goes well in 9 days' time. What the next 12 months looking like for you? Are you wanting to maybe get on some of these European shows in Germany or Czech Republic? What are you wanting to do
I
in the next 12
definitely,
months?
I said at the start of the year, I said I want to have 5 fights this year, maybe even 6. Yeah. Um. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I would definitely want to fight in the continent at some point, whether it be Germany, Czech Republic, whatever that is, even Slovakia. But I would also like to fight in London. When they come back, I'd like to fight on a couple more, fight in the UK a little bit as well. It's a little bit more comfortable. Um, but yeah, as I say, take this step first, knock this guy out, and then see where we're at. You know, depending on how emphatically I knock this guy out. If I finish this guy in the first round, take no damage, then I'll just jump straight back in there. I'm fit. I'm already on weight. You know what I mean? I'll jump straight back in there ASAP. Um, I'm not arsed. Like I said, I want to just be active while I can be active. You know, this is the kind of game you get injured and you're out for 6 months now. You're wishing, oh, why didn't I spend the last 6 months just fighting 3 times and I would have had 3 fights rather than waiting. You're injured, now you've got to wait, get back into a camp again and all this other shit. You know what I mean? And especially as I said at 29, like injuries tend to become long injuries. They're not just healing and back in the day you could fucking break yourself up and 2 weeks later you're on the mat now. It's like it could be longer if you really want to heal up properly.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck. I'm excited to see you perform.
No stress, mate. Appreciate you having me on, yeah?
No worries.
Nice one,
Cheers,
man.
man.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.